Hi crafty folks, Amy here, and today I have a simple Zinnia stenciled Thinking of You card to share. Now I'm going to use this oldie but goodie Zinnia set stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It's older in the shop, but one of my absolute favorites. I have the stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, my ink blending brushes, and here's a photo of the finished card. It's single layer. I'm working directly on a card base and it came together really quickly. So I'm just going to basically use all three sizes of these Zinnia stencils and I'm just going to move them over around on the card base to suit my fancy, so to speak. But they're spaced pretty well on the stencil, so it's easy to kind of avoid not ink blending over the ones that you don't want to use, but you can kind of shift the stencil around on your composition to kind of put them where you want them. I love that there's three different sizes, so you get a nice variation, and 3 is just such a good number with regard to design because it's so visually appealing to the eye. So this is a stencil that's super versatile in your stash. You could easily make it kind of like the focal point like I am here on this card, or just do a subtle background. It really has a lot of possibilities and it's such a good stencil. So I wanted to go light with the background on these stencils, so I'm actually just using some residual ink and essentially kind of cleaning my blending brushes because I want more of a pastel subtle look. So I used my blue family blending brush, then the black, and now I'm coming in with an orange, knowing that it's kind of more of a corally orange that is likely to be on there. So it just kind of lays down a nice little color combination, but still very subtle and kind of pastel. So I have those 3 zinnias, and I'm kind of deliberately blending them off the edge of the paper just because I like that look. And then I'm going to actually use, I'm initially thinking I want to use this I'm so sorry circle because I was picturing kind of putting that in the center of one of those zinnias. So I do stamp that a couple times first. I could ultimately fussy cut this out or use like one of my Hero Arts Infinity Circle dies that I'm sure would be the right size. So basically I just stamped this a couple times. I'm using this stone blue ink pad from Catherine Pooler. I know I used that recently, and that's kind of similar to the blue that I ended up getting when I was ink blending the residual ink. So I'm just going to stamp this a couple times. I used my press tool from Tailored Expressions. I didn't get a great impression there. So flip over the cardstock, wipe off my stamp really good just because I think there was, I don't know, something on it, kind of made it not stamp very well. And I stamp it again, and then at this point I decide I actually don't even want to use that stamp. So I'll kind of set that aside and use that for a future card. But ultimately, I decide going with a different sentiment in this sympathy set, and it just says thinking of you, because I realized when I organized my cards recently, I don't really have a lot that say thinking of you. Excuse me. I have several that kind of portray that sentiment, but not an actual thinking of you. So I thought, I'm just going to do this one, and I'm conditioning it with my finger because I don't know if I've ever actually used that stamp before. So again, I'm using the same color, and I'm just going to stamp that down, reline up my paper in the Misty, stamp it a couple times, and that ultimately is the one I end up using. Now, I don't know in the shop at Simon Says Stamp if there are coordinating dies. There might be, but I don't have them, so I have the intention of just kind of fussy cutting it out. I have my favorite fussy cutting scissors here. I can never remember what they're called, but I will link them below with the other products that are available in the video description box below. If you expand under the video and scroll down, that's where you'll find all the products and the links and all that good stuff. So I'm just kind of turning the paper as I go. This is how I fussy cut. It makes it easier. So you turn the paper, not the scissors, and you can get a smoother cut and not make it so tiring on your hand. So I'm just kind of deliberately leaving a white border as if there were a coordinating die and just kind of working my way around this sentiment. So overall, this is going to be a really simple card when I'm done, but I am going to use a new to me product here in a little bit once I'm done taking my time fussy cutting around this sentiment. So I don't know if you guys ever do this, if you ever think to kind of fussy cut. I know sometimes I'll do, just like a rectangle with maybe like a stitched edge rectangle die, like one of the smaller ones from you know, that set that I have. I'll do that sometimes. Or the shape of this, honestly, you probably could do it in a circle die. So lots of options. Or of course you could stamp directly right on the card base, which is another thing I could have done here, honestly, but I knew I wanted to pop it up. Now here I'm just taking the stencil and again doing a very, very subtle, very mild ink blending on the inside. And this is just a nice way to kind of continue your design into the inside of the card and give it a little something extra that doesn't take too much time. So you can see here, very flat, single layer. I don't have any bulk at this point. The only dimension I'm going to have is when I pop up that sentiment. But here is the new to me product. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this company's name because I will butcher it, but I will link it in the video description box below. I'm really excited about this little mini tin. So I got all of this, those 6 little metallic ones and that black one from the same company, and the tin and that little swatch card all came in my order. But those are mini pans, so they're like, I don't know, a quarter size pan maybe, and then that black one in there, which is charcoal color, is a half size pan. So you can see 6 of those minis in that little half pan fit in that little container that came from the Etsy company. So I kind of customized it. Those 6 little ones came together in the tin, and then I just added that black one knowing that I would have room. And this is something that I just kind of custom put together knowing that I wanted to be able to do black splatters and then like gold and silver and shimmery and kind of like, I don't know, rose gold and things like that. So I was really excited when I was able to kind of add that little black one in there. The only thing missing is white, but I do have a different way to do white splatter. But I wanted something really tiny that I would keep on my desk in my face so I would use it because I love splatter and I have multiple ways of creating splatter, but I oftentimes won't do it unless it's in my face. So I don't know if you guys are like me, like that way. If it's not in your face, you're not going to remember to use it, or you're going to be too lazy to go, 3 feet across your craft room and grab it. But that's me. So I wanted something little that could be on my desk at all times so that if I want to do some splatter, it's right there. And this stuff, guys, gorgeous. It's not the cheapest, I'm not going to lie, but it is so glittery and pretty and gorgeous. And you probably can't see it. It doesn't do it justice, but I'm telling you, this watercolor is gorgeous. And I feel like since I'm probably just going to use it for splatter, I'm thinking those little mini pans are going to last me a really long time. So like I said, I will link, it's kind of a unique name and I don't know how to say it and I don't want to butcher it. So I will link it in the video description box below. I'm not an affiliate for her or anything, but I'm assuming you guys will probably like it too. So I'll link it below. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and I will catch you next time. Bye.